I'm making a video again to the topic about how to partition Linux hard disk, how to increase disk size on a Linux machine. This is I call it upgraded version of my another video. I touched this topic, but I feel it's necessary to make a so-called upgraded version again because where I'm on working on the virtual machine on the cloud, there's one important steps which is not showing when I'm working on the virtual machine on VMware. But I feel it's very important because if you made the wrong choice, you would ended up lost data. All right, so follow along with me. I think this is very important, and hopefully this is gonna help you. All right. What happened here is I have a testing machine. It's called a WebL test. This machine is built on Microsoft Azure Cloud. So what I need to do is this machine I just built. Okay, this command lsblk. It's called the list block. All right, basically it's showing okay, you have two hard disks, SDA1. SDA2, SDA is a physical hard disk. SDB, another physical hard disk. You can always ignore about this one on the cloud virtual machine, right? Because on the cloud virtual machine, they always attach something about 8 gig, 10 gig, 7 gig ish disk on your virtual machine. I think this is for those for the system use, for the cloud to use. Somehow build some virtual network, virtual security group, whatever. So over here, so you don't worry about it. So basically, this I would say this is one hard disk called SDA. It's 64 gig in size. All right. So obviously, first partition SDA1. The size is about 500 megs. Is used by the boot folder, boot partition. So all those bootloader, those good stuff goes to here. Don't worry about it. That should be enough size already. So basically, check here. All right. Everybody knows this home folder, where all the users' data goes into. It's only have 1 gig size. All right. If you want to check the free space on that home folder, use this one. All right, you see home folder, right? It's 1 gig in size, but this is a brand new machine, so it used 40 meg, so 975 meg. It's about roughly 1 gig in size. So for the home folder, obviously it's not enough, right? So my goal is today's video, I'm gonna increase the size, and also I'm gonna put that. Make sure you put that increased size to correct folder, right? So there's a little difference. For example, on the Windows, you have C drive, right? You have C drive. Let's say you have 100 meg free space. You feel it's not enough. You add 40 gig. So basically, you extend the C drive. So that 40 gig gonna give everybody use. Whoever can log on the IV folder, you know, gonna use that 40 gig. It's not like Linux, right? Linux, if you put in the wrong place, let's say you add 40 gig, you somehow put in the wrong place. So when you come back here to check, that 40 gig was not give to home folder. So you will ended up wasting those 40 gig to somewhere else. It's a very important concept, right? So let's get started. So follow along, all right? So what happened is, let me show you. Those, you know, in the Linux, right? Everything is a file. That's the idea. Everything is a file. A device, a network card, a hard disk, a partition, whatever. The keyboard, CD-ROM, or USB hard disk. Everything is a file. That's the idea here. So for those files, there's okay. When I log in, I just log in as root. Okay, you see the folder here, right? All those files is device files is under dev folder. All right, because a device this is an important folder. So if you go to that folder, All right, you see, also it's actually device, especially it's a yellow color, yellowish. That's actually point to device. If you see those color, right, those cyan color or sky blue color, that's actually a hyperlink. Hyperlink, right? I think this dark blue color, that's a folder. That means you can actually go in. Let's say CD root VG, right? That's a folder. Right? You can actually go in, right? So okay. So let's say the hard disk, right? The hard disk SDA. That's the first physical hard disk. I have hard disk. I have one partition SDA1. As a second partition SDA2. It's SDA 14, 15. That's automatically created by system. So don't worry about it. So that's what it is. So what I'm going to do is I will add space obviously on SDA2. Alright, add space on SDA2. But after you add space, make sure you are assigned to correct folder. So my goal is I add some space today. I'm gonna add some space over here on home folder. It depends on the situation, right? Because some Linux server you may use for different purpose. Some Linux server may not have enough, may not have much user, may not to serve the purpose to let user save files. Let's say you build a website or something. Maybe those website ended up on different folder. Okay, that's the point. So if that website say under var or under different folder, make sure you add that space to that particular folder, right? Otherwise you add to the wrong place, you'll mess up. Okay, so my goal is I will add some space on the home folder. I will also add some space on let's say on temp folder, right? Let's just use this as example. Okay, now go back to here. Let's make some home folder. Okay, I have root 1. This is one user. Let's just there's no file here. User data.txt. Okay, let's make some like a dummy file here, just demonstrate. Okay, after all those operations, I did not mess up or lose any user data. Okay, make dir, right, like user folder. Okay, so now I have a one file, user data file. I have a folder, a user folder here. Let's demonstrate that's user's file. So okay, now we have we have 64 gig size. Okay, that's a total disk size. I'm gonna add 64 gig and assign some of them to the home folder, some of them to the temp folder. So what you do is in Azure, right? Basically, you cannot add space unless you shut it down. So I have to come down here to the machine. All right, I click stop. So do we want to stop? Okay. Yes, I want to stop. So it's gonna stop this virtual machine. Obviously, this machine, okay, lost connection. So because I stopped that machine. Okay, makes sense. All right. Now it's stopping that machine. It still says running. You see, it says running. Okay, but it takes some time to stop that machine. So it won't take long. Okay, stopped. It said stopped, deallocated. Okay. So now you come to the disks, right? You see, this is only one disk, right? It's only one disk. Remember when I do LSBLK, this SDB, it's supposed to have secondary hard disks, right? That's what I'm saying. So that SDB was actually automatically added by Azure. So it won't show here because you cannot do anything over that. That's like Azure disk automatically attached to every disk, to every virtual machine on your Azure virtual machine. So You cannot do anything about it, so let's say don't worry about it. So now this is 64 gig in size. Okay, I'll click on this disk. What do you want to do about this disk, right? So I say, okay, I want increase size. Okay, so this is 64 gig. I'm gonna add 64. Notice there's nothing in the middle, right? You cannot add 30 gig or 40 gig. It's like doubles. So next step is 250. Next step 5512. So I have 64 gig. I'm gonna add 128. So previously I did stop the virtual machine. For people never worked on Azure, if you don't stop that machine, this one is grayed out. You cannot do the resize. Okay. So let's say I'm at 64 gig, so 128. I just click resize. Okay, so updating the disk, successful, pretty quick. All right. So now go back to the virtual machine. Right. This is a disk, so go to overview, start. So this is a virtual machine. This is a Linux, so it should stop pretty quick. Right. So this status will show started in about running. All right. Notice it's a public IP. So just click on the clipboard. I use a PATI. Paste this IP. Open. Ooh, not yet. I think. Okay. It takes a little while for this fully started, so don't worry. Try again. Okay. Do you trust this SSH key? SSH key? Yes, I trust. So logging as root. Yeah. So the root account was not good practice to enable to remote login, right? But that's not it's out of the scope of this video. So for the convenience, I just log in as root. I don't want to log in as a regular user, do the sudo whatever, right? So now, okay, increase the size a little bit. Here we go. You do LSB, okay. Now you see the size 128 gig, but the home, you see the home folder we're target to is still 1 gig, right? You see dfh command is still use 40 meg, right? 975 meg free space. So nothing changed. So it's important. The df-h command. This is commands tell you actually have how many space to use. This command is like showing, okay, my Linux know I have 128 gig disk, but this command was actually showing how much you have, right? The space. So what you do is you do fdisk. Now you have to do fdisk. Fdisk is a command you use for the partition, right? You do fdisk. What do you want to do? It is followed by the targeted disk you want to partition. I'm not gonna touch SDB, as I previously mentioned. So I'm gonna do SDA. But notice you cannot do SDA, right? Because look, you cannot open SDA, no such file or directory, right? Remember, everything is a file. So SDA is a disk. You thought, okay, you're gonna partition SDA, but remember, this SDA, as I showed you, is under dev folder. So what you do is do fdisk, right? It's under dev folder. You do SDA. Here you point it to a correct place. It's I want to do partition for the hard disk SDA. Okay. Yeah, don't worry about this message. This message is because we just changed the size of the hard disk. So the partition, this check, okay, is a little mismatch. I suppose have 64 gig, but why is like somehow it's like doubled, right? So don't worry about it. It would correct it when you do the right command. So don't worry about it. So now you have all the command here. Yeah, and now the first you always do M is menu, right? You see what option you have. Okay, you do P, it's like print current partition information, right? Partition table, you print. Okay, you have 4 partitions, right? SDA1, SDA2. Okay, so SDA1 is for the Linux file system, so we're not gonna touch. Our target is SDA2. Okay, now what you do is you delete this partition first. You do D, that's for the delete partition. You delete, okay. Which partition you want to delete? Default is 15. No, we want to touch this one. So 1 is, you see, 1 is for 1, right? 2 is for second partition. For 15 is SD15. So our target is 2. Okay. Partition 2 deleted. Alright. So very important. Don't do W. You don't. W is a write table. Don't write it yet. Alright. We delete it. We want immediately. We want create one. Create one is new. Add a new partition. Okay. We do new. Add partition. Okay. It's which partition you want to add? Yeah, we want to add 2 because we just deleted 2. We want to add it back. Default is 2, so you can hit enter. So use default or you just hit 2. Okay, we just hit enter. It doesn't matter, the same. Okay, first sector is all use default. Okay, just use default. Okay, the last sector. Okay, it's gonna use up all the space, all the free space. Sure, that's what we want. We want to add whatever free space to this, everything to the SDA2. Yes. Okay, now this is very important. Yeah, hold on. Let me bring this on. This was not. It's not happening on when I'm working on my first video. On that video, I'm working on VMware host. I have control on the VMware, so when I'm add partition, is no such question. But over here is asking, okay, you're gonna create a new partition, right? The size is 120 gig, but partition 2 contains LVM2, logic value management, version 2, member signature. Do you want to remove the signature? Alright, make sure you say no. Okay, I learned the hard way. You say yes, you're gonna mess up the partition table. Yeah, you create a partition table, but you lose that so-called signature. Without signature, that the data gonna lost, and when you reboot, you may not even able to reboot. Okay, just say no. Okay, I want add partition back. I just want add space, but don't touch anything else like signature, whatever is important. Say no. Okay. Now you print. Okay, so this definitely increased. Notice before it's 1.3 something, it's doubled, right? Almost double. So it goes to here. Look, 63 gig, 127 gig. So space double and signature we say no. So we did not remove the signature. Right? Now it's time for say W. Okay, the partition table has been altered, synchronizing disks. Okay, now we have we change the partition table. Okay, in my previous video I said over here you need to do a reboot. Okay, but on this Azure virtual machine over here you don't have to do reboot. You already have everything. LSBLK 128 gig. BFH. No, this still not added yet. Notice. Okay, we just changed partition table. We haven't added the space yet. To add disk space, the first you have to extend the physical value. All right. then you have to extend logic value. Okay, for those people don't understand physical value, logic value, you know what? Let's bring up maybe Google logic value Linux. Okay, let me bring up some like pictures. Logic value LVM. Maybe you got some idea about the logic value, physical value, right? You can just go search, right? You search for those tutorials. You got idea about the physical value, right? You change the position first. The position, you see the position here. You change the position. You increase position. So position table knows, okay, you have a bigger size in position table. Then next step, you gotta change physical value, right? After you change the physical value, you make sure you change the logic value. After changing logic value, you change file system. Eventually will work. Okay, so first you changed physical value. I mean the partition table. Now it's time to change physical value. What you do is physical value. Let me see the PVS. Right, you see PVS. That's a command to show physical volume, right? You do a physical volume resize. Physical value resize. PV resize. Okay, PV resize. Okay, what do you want resize? That's SDA. Let's bring this command. Okay, you do physical value resize. We want to resize this one. Okay, make sure you put correct one. So that will be SDA physical value SDA2. Hold on. Oh, okay. There's no such thing called SDA2. Okay. It should be dev SDA2. Okay. Why? I just click cancel. Okay. Remember, it's under dev. Under dev, there's a SDA2. Okay, that's we want to target the file. Okay, so you don't do the physical value resize. You don't do SDA. It's not like SDA2. Okay, it's called dev SDA2. We want resize this. Okay, physical volume changed. So we're done with physical value. The second one is you're gonna extend the logic value. Okay, logic value you do LV display first. Okay, each logic value goes to okay, you know what? Let's use this is logic value path. This is important. Logic value path. Okay, this one. Now LSBLK. Okay, look. Remember, our goal is we're gonna add something to home, right? We're gonna add something for the temp. That's what we want. So when you do ls display, which one is for home? The home is home LV, right? Dev home logic value. Home logic value. The temp is here. Temp LV. Okay. Yeah, remember? Home LV goes to a home, right? The temp LV is temp, right? So, but the full path is this. Full path is home LV. Let's add this one first. Okay, you do a copy. You right click. Okay, right click, copy. Okay. I don't worry about this command. This command because when I do right click, it's automatically try to execute this thing, but nothing to execute. Okay, to add space on to extend the space on logical value, the command is okay, is lv extend. So if you don't know how to do how to use that command, you do lv extend. Okay, it tells you okay what option, what command you can use. We're gonna use percentage, right? Percentage is easier because let's say you have you add 64 gig. It's not very accurate. You use like real number, right? Like I want add 40 gig over here, I want add 20 gig, so you will ended up losing some like a couple hundred meg file or something. But I use percentage, right? I use percentage. I say I want add 80% to the home folder, I want add the 20% to temp, right? That's what I want to do. So this is a command use -l. Okay. Okay. Basically we're gonna use lv logic value extend. Okay, remember hyphen lowercase l. Okay, I want add 80%. I want add 80% free space. Remember it's uppercase free. That's how you write it. So followed by our lv pass. lv pass we already copied. Come on, lv pass. Okay, let's copy this again. We want add lv pass. Okay, right click, right click. Okay. All right. So the command, I want add 80% free space. Okay, lv extend -l plus add 80% free space to this lv pass. Hit enter. Boom, add it. Okay, so 80% added. So anyway, it doesn't matter. So we still have another 20%, right? 20%. Remember, we want to go to temp folder, temp. So the temp would be, where is it? A temp. Okay, this lv pass. You write down this. You right click, let's copy. Okay. Now we want, is it okay? Everybody think, okay, are we supposed to change 20%? Remember we add 80%, so the rest 20% go to here, right? No, because over here it should be 100%. Why? Because this percentage is how much percent of the free space, right? So we already add 80%. The rest of the disk, I want 100% goes to temp. Okay, so not 20%, it's 100%. Okay, add it. All right, but let's do dfh. You see, it's still not changed, right? It's still like only 975, and the temp only like 2 gig, right? So why? Because we extended space for the logic value. We still have one thing to target. We take care of physical value. Remember, physical value resize. We take care of logical value, right? Now we have to take care of file system. That's the final steps. Final step, file system. So file system, first you have to figure out what the file system type you use. You can use this command, etc fs tab, right? So this file system looks home, whatever, use xfs. Okay, this is very popular. There's a ext2, ext3, ext4 or xfs. Okay, this is very popular for the modern Linux file system. The very earliest one I think is ext, but it's not in use anymore. So you use this command, you figure out, okay, those file systems use xfs. Okay, so now you want to do the same, xfs, use the same command. What you do is you do xfs grow, xfs grow. You grow your file system. That's the last step. Okay, followed by lv pass. But let's go back. Lv display. You figure out those lv pass first. We come back to this one. So first we want to do the home. That's the first lv pass. We want the grow. Right click. Okay. That's xfs. Command. Okay, you can Google the command for each different file type. Okay, I just take here xfs grow file system, grow file system. Okay, followed by file pass, lv pass, grow this one. Okay. Okay. Oh, hold on, dev is not a mounted xfs file system. What that means? xfs grows dev root home lv is not a mounted xfs file system. What? It's not a mounted file system. What that mean? I saw this xfs. No. Okay. Let's try this. Temp is not a mounted xfs file system. lv pass. Hold on. ls. Yeah, you see, they already added size to here, but the file system was not yet added yet. Disk -L. Okay, home. This is not mounted file system. Not mounted xfs file system. What? F disk. Hold on. F disk and root. If I do F disk. Hold on. You know what? Let's do reboot. Okay, let's do reboot first. See how it goes. Wait, if it's not xfs, what is this? Because I checked it's xfs. All right, sorry for that hiccup. Let's see what happened. All right, it's take a while to reboot, but it should be done pretty quickly. Pretty quick. Root. Okay, log in. That'll be okay. No, hold on. SBRK, okay, turn again, DFH, yeah, still space down. So we do XFS grow file system. Hold on. LV display, okay. Home. XFS grow file system. Is not a mounted XFS file system. What that's supposed to mean? Root VG home LV root VG. Or maybe this mapper. Okay, hold on. DF. Oh, okay. We may use this. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna use this. Yeah, use this. This is LV path for the home mapper. Okay, let's try this. Okay, yeah, mapper. Is not mounted XFS file system. Sorry guys, I have to do some search, so I will come back. All right, about this command. It's supposed work on this command. Okay. Mount point. Okay. Okay. I did some research. This is some new feature here. Before, usually you can do XFS grow file system followed by LV path, right? Now they have something new about you have to use something called mount point instead of LV path. So mount point is this. It's mounted on. Okay. So now we mounted on home. Let's try this. Home. How about this? Home. Oh, added. Okay, this makes things easier. We don't have to do LV pass anymore. I mean, means we don't have to do LV display anymore. We just do mount point. Okay, the mount point now. Okay, LV. Look, DFH. Glad I have another one. DFH. Okay, now the home. I have 84 gig. I have the rest of them goes to remember we want to go to temp. We don't use this. We don't use file system LV path. We just use mount point. Okay, this makes things easier. XFS grow, which is followed by TMP. Boom, added DFH. Okay. Now we see temp. We have added this much. Now we have home. We added this much. Okay. You may notice actually, remember before it's only 1 gig. Now this alone added 74 gig plus about 20 gig, so it's like 100 some gig. Remember we only add 64 gig. That's because before we come here we add 64 gig on hard disk. By default, there's this virtual machine already have some free space we never used. So we added that free space plus 64 gig we added. So we actually come to here, right? So now we have much free space for here and here. All right, good. It's good. Yeah, this definitely worth the upgrade. Remember, there's 2 points. 1 point is we have to write no when it's asking for that signature question, LVM2 signature question in when we do the F-disk partitioning. Okay, that's an important point. The second point is actually you don't need reboot, but the most important point is not most important point. Most important point is still that write no. So this is xfs grow command, grow file system command is not followed by lv pass anymore. It means it's not followed by this. It's followed by mount points. Okay, mount points. So for those, it says it's not mounted file system. Actually, it means you have to use this. You use this mount point instead of LV path. Okay, great. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for look this video. It's a little hiccup here, but I'm also in the learning. It's changing all the time. This little thing changing all the time. Okay, but Google helps. All right. Thank you very much. Bye now.